Welcome into another edition of the 2024 MLB Draft Spotlight Show. University of Tennessee, 5 years running now. I keep talking to these volunteers. Drew Beam, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Drew, welcome to the show, man. Excited to have you on.
Appreciate you having me on today.
Absolutely. Hey, let's start this way, like we usually do. I want the viewers, I want the listeners, I want them to learn about Drew Beam. Who are you on the field? Who are you off the field? What sort of thing are you into, man?
Yeah, absolutely. On the field, pretty competitive. Kind of stay pretty quiet. I don't do anything too fancy or too out of the normal. I don't get too loud or nothing like that. Try to be pretty level headed out there. Off the field, pretty friendly. Just got a lot of friends. Pretty vocal and just outgoing towards others and stuff. So, uh, big part of my life is hunting and fishing. So that's kind of who I am off the field. Got into golf when I got to college, so that's kind of another big thing I got into. And then yeah, just been playing baseball my whole life. So that's kind of consumed a lot of my time.
Tell me about the first thing I want to know. Tell me about your trip to Tennessee. So the 2021 draft rolls around. You're a big name in the 21 draft, getting lots of heat, plenty of attention. You decide to end up with the burnt orange. Tell me about that transition from high school to college. What was that like for you?
Yeah, big thing of was it as I was actually coming back from Tommy John, the repair. I had that my senior year of high school. So the biggest part of that, coming to Tennessee was getting to finish my rehab here and really get back into throwing up here in Knoxville and just getting to get after it. From then on out, uh, I fell in love with Tennessee. I'd been a Tennessee fan my whole life, being from Murfreesboro, just south of Nashville, but once I started talking to this coaching staff up here, they just, I fell in love with it, fell in love with the coaching staff, what the program was, where it was headed, the direction that they wanted to see it go. And I just wanted to be a part of that and wanted to be one of the guys who got the program to where it's going to be one day. So jumped on board and got up here, and it's kind of been history since then. Never looked back. We got to work, and a lot of good guys up here with me. So it's been fun and enjoyed every second of it.
Tell me a little bit more about that TJ. Is that the most adversity you've ever faced?
Yeah, well, junior year of high school, I guess I didn't play because of COVID. So lost that whole season. And then
Hmm.
we were gearing back up, finally getting to play again and tore my UCL. So that had definitely had a big impact on me and just how I, kind of how I looked at the game. Honestly, I got to take a whole season where I stepped back, was still part of the team, but I couldn't affect the team in any physical way. I couldn't go play for them. So it's just kind of what I did. I kind of sat back and was like, all right, how can I learn more about the game, or how can I, help my teammates out in a way that I couldn't in the past. So that's kind of how I went about it, and I learned a lot about, the game itself and how I could be a leader on a team in the future. So that was a really big building block for me, is taking something bad that happened to me and just making the best out of it, honestly.
No doubt. One thing I've always kind of admired about you from the first couple times that I saw you throw is, well, actually the opposite of that. You're not a thrower. Like you're a legitimate pitcher. You command the baseball well, you throw strikes, you mix it up. I'm just curious, in a day and age that has amateurs chasing velocity as hard as they are, how much pride do you take in, being able to hit all four quadrants with a few different pitches?
Yeah, velocity's cool. I mean, everybody loves to see the big velocity up on the board. I mean, it's cool. I mean, I got to see Ben Joyce firsthand hit 105.5. Like that's cool. That's really
That is cool.
cool to watch. But kind of the biggest thing is just I think every player has to sit back and think, who am I as a player? And me personally, I sat back and looked and I was like, you know, I'm not a guy that's going to go up there and have to rely on 100 mile an hour to get a guy out. I know who I was. I knew who I was. I was coming back from Tommy John, so like I wasn't trying to blow out the water with numbers and stuff my freshman year. So I was like, how do I get guys out efficiently and without having to throw 100? So exactly what you said, commanding all of my pitches in the zone and using them all efficiently to get guys out kind of became what I took pride in. Honestly, is like yeah, last year, I touched whatever 98 or something, but that doesn't define who I am as a pitcher. Like I don't have to throw 98 every outing to get people out. It's get to work around with 93 to 96 and put it on corners and do stuff like that, and it's more fun that way. To me personally, it just fits who I am as a pitcher, and that's kind of the role I've taken as a pitcher is like velocity is going to come and go. There's guys in the big league. You can't hold out velocity for your entire career and stuff. So just learning to be a pitcher first has always been my goal. Guys like Greg Maddux did it throwing 88. So uh, you can do a lot when you know where your baseball is going.
So talk about the arsenal a little bit. What are you throwing? How do you like to deploy it? Kind of what do your weapons look like?
Yeah, so this season will be a 5 pitch mix if you count the two different fastballs. So we'll have four seam sinker. Sinker sometimes is a two seam, just kind of depending on the day there. Then we got cutter, knuckle curve, and a circle change. And so I'm going to use the heaters. My four seams going to be my primary fastball. Plays better in the upper part of the zone, which really plays well with the curveball too. We've kind of solidified that 11-5 shape. My curveball is kind of the best shape for me, and that's kind of the way that pitch works the best for me. So whenever that curveball is at about 11-5 and that four seam's working, they work together really well and tunnel pretty well. So then with the sinker, kind of added that this kind of off season. I kind of messed around with it in the past, but never really truly thought it'd be part of my arsenal. And then kind of realized that I could play with it in the lower part of the zone instead of trying to pound a four seam down there. Got more swing and misses with having a sinker down there. So kind of easier to play that role down there in the lower part of the zone. Helps me get miss some more barrels. And then we've been working with a cutter. Started learning it after my freshman season. Kind of worked with it last year. It kind of came and went. It
Hmm.
wasn't what I wanted it to be honestly throughout the season, but we've really solidified it over the all season and gotten into what mental cues on how to throw it and kind of just still learning that pitch. Getting it day by day, getting it better and better. So, and then finally the changeup, kind of been a pitch that I've had in my back pocket. I haven't used it to the kind of the extent that I've liked to in the past couple of years. But I do believe that that's going to be a bigger role pitch this season, and it's probably one of my better pitches, I believe. So I think it'll be of greater use this year, and it'll help me get a lot more guys out quicker.
Yeah, I haven't been able to take in one of your starts firsthand, but those who have seen the changeup, I mean, like you said, you've been a little reluctant to throw it. It flashes. It flashes. So I'm excited to see you kind of bring that out a little bit more this year. With all those pitches, man, 5 different pitches and so many different unique grips. I mean, you are pronating, you're supinating, you're all over the place with these pitch mixes. How much has the University of Tennessee and Tony Vitello and the data and pitching development, how much have they helped you kind of become the man and the pitcher that you are today?
Yeah, so we'll start with the cutter. Coach A was the one who wanted me to start learning one. Trying to miss. I think my freshman year I had a really low swing and miss rate. So he's like, let's see if a cutter will, kind of help increase that number, get less barrel, miss more barrels, and have just another pitch in the arsenal. And so started working with it, and he's shown me multiple different grips, and I think we finally found one that's going to stick with me and really fits my arsenal for me the best. But we've used that I guess Edgertronic, the slow-mo videos. That's been really essential to kind of figuring out what works best for me on grip wise, honestly. So just getting to throw a pitch and then turn around and look at the TV that we have behind our bullpen and just sit there and look at it and be like, all right, it came off the fingers this way. And then you change it to a different grip and it's like different, it's a little different with this grip. So just kind of figuring out and kind of trying to perfect which pitch works for me and which grip works for me was with that technology is awesome. And having the Rapsodo machines and everything like that helps out as well. So just being able to use that technology along with Coach A's kind of old school approach to pitching kind of has been a super team of just the technology, the old school. It all just kind of comes together to form as one, and it's really been important to use those metrics and like I say, just Coach A. He's been around some of the best to ever do it. So just that knowledge that he brings to the table has been awesome.
Tell me about those jerseys behind you, man. You got to pitch for the All Stars and Stripes. You got to pitch for the country this past summer. Tell me about that experience.
That experience is just beyond anything else. It was awesome. I mean, one of the funniest things is, I mean, you go in there and your teammates now with guys that you kind of hate whenever you're playing
Yeah.
against them. Whenever I think the biggest example I bring up is Cags from Florida. I mean, grew up a Tennessee fan my entire life. Grew up hating Florida, so just it was nature to when we go play them. I hate you. I hate you because you're wearing a Florida jersey, and then Cags shows up and he's really cool and he's a great dude and it's just fun to hang out with him. So it's just those, you know, you're with guys that you never think that you would be friends with, and you turn out to talk to them all the time now. So that was a really cool experience, and then obviously getting to put on the jersey and play for my country is just, I mean, it was beyond me. It was so much fun and just had a great experience. Played with a lot of different, came from a lot of different places and different pitching styles. So just getting to hear and pick up on different things from all over the place was a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah. No doubt about it, man. Everyone that I've talked to just raves about that experience for more reasons than just, the game of baseball. So what's next for you, man? In terms of your development, you've come so far in these past 2.5 years. Kind of what do you still want to tick off your checklist in terms of growth?
I think the biggest thing is just to continue to refine on my pitches, the arsenal that I have right now. Over the past, in the past, I've commanded the strike zone really well. I throw a lot of strikes. Sometimes I feel like, even though I'm throwing strikes, I'm not exactly throwing them exactly where I'd like to. So that was a big emphasis this off season is not only throwing it in the zone, but throwing it in the zone I'd like to. And just really pinpointing and placing it exactly where I want, where I need it to be to really get more efficient and get out quicker. And so that's been a really big thing for me is just how can I, hit little squares versus hitting the big square only. So that's kind of been what I've gone for, and then just the weight room and getting into nutrition and dieting, really just focusing and taking care of my body, making it a temple, just taking care of it day in and day out.
I love it, man. You are polished. You are very mature. You are very polished. You're ready for whatever come next. And I got a couple more questions for you. I'll get you out of here. Biggest one. Say you pitch for 20 more years, right? Um, what's the one walk-up song that you'd be comfortable with, never changing for the next 20 years?
That's interesting because so I've changed it every year. I've loved all the walk up songs I've had, but I've changed it every year. It's just kind of been my thing. I started with "Immigrant Song" by Led Zeppelin. I
Mm,
went "Sold Out" by Hardy last year, and then this year I'm doing "White Horse" by Chris Stapleton.
okay.
Um, so really just across the board. And I don't know. I think I got to pick between those three, but I think I'd go "Sold Out" by Hardy. I think it's got a little bit of country, a little bit of rock. I mean, and then you got Hardy in there just screaming his head off. So it's just, it's just kind of a vibe for me. So I like that song. I think I could deal with that for the next 20 years.
Yeah, no, as an unbiased observer, I would not be mad at Immigrant Song for the rest of the time. Anything to keep Led Zeppelin going, man.
Absolutely. You can't go wrong with them at all.
No way, no way. Last question. I'm just gonna give you the guys on Team USA because viewers and listeners are gonna know those names a little better. Who's the one guy from that roster? No shot. You're letting him date your sister.
No shot. Oh man. Probably Neely. Brandon
Brandon?
Neely. Yeah.
You still do hate Florida, don't
Yeah.
you?
That's my boy, but yeah, probably him. That I can think of off the top of my head. But yeah, I'm gonna go with him.
I like it.
Good guy though. Good.
I hope you and Brandon face off this year. I don't know what the schedule looks like, but I hope you guys get a 1v1.
Hey, we'll see. Maybe in the future we'll play together, and then again, it'll all be good. But yeah, that's my boy though. That's just the name that pops into my head.
I like it. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Keep that rivalry growing. Drew Beam, righty. Tennessee Volunteers, man. I'm so excited to watch you pitch. Like, I can't emphasize that enough. I can't wait to watch you pitch. In amateur baseball, I see a lot of throwers. I've experienced a lot of throwers. I'm excited to watch you pitch, man.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right, good luck.